Hi, beautiful people. I'm about to show you all how to make a money lei. So it's my best friend's birthday, and I wanted to find a creative way to give her gift. I mean, I know what she like. She's one of those people who has everything she wants in life, and so why not gift her with a little cash in a cutesy way? So what you'll need an urn. So you see I have an urn here. You're gonna need some beads. I chose green because green is her favorite color. You'll need some tape. I prefer a tape dispenser like this because, yeah, it's easier than having to pick up a roll of tape and keep cutting off the appropriate size. You will need some scissors, of course. And I'm trying to think what else besides the goods. You'll need some dollar bills. And so I have started the process of folding these dollar bills already. Started the process, but I left a few that aren't done so I can show y'all how to get here. Oh, and you'll need some ribbon, some curling ribbon, in which right now I don't know what my curling ribbon is, but I will go grab it in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and get the process started. So like I said, these are already done. Well, not done, but the first few steps are done. So let me catch y'all up. So I had these ones that were already folded because I was using this saving book. I'll show y'all the book too in a little bit. But I was using this saving book. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pause it and show y'all. Okay, here you go. This is 100 envelope saving challenge book. So I was using this book to save some money because I like to gift. And so to keep gifting in my budget, I started using this just to keep a good budget in general. I like these. I have another one for my house fund as well. But anyway, I started using this one for gifts. But anyway, if you want to save some money in a cutesy challenging way, you can do the 100 envelope challenge. That is where you save a certain amount every day for 100 days. So in other words, if you put $1 in the first envelope for the first day, the second day you'll put $2, and you can mark and track on this page. But by day 100, if you continue that trend, you'll have saved $5,050. So I had already had a bunch of singles stuck into my book here, and so they were already halfway folded to what you need for your lei. So you take a dollar bill. So like I said, they were already halfway folded. So what you need to do is fold it in half once and then fold it in half again. So this is how my dollars already were. So you see I had a really good head start. And then you just fold one more time to get the appropriate size of how your dollars need to be accordion. So this is the size. Fold it in half. 3 times I did that. And then you can unfold and start to create like an accordion. So fold this way, fold this part back. Okay, so just make sure you go back and forth to fold your dollar to make it look like an accordion. Okay, so you see what you have here? It should look like this. Press together, and then you fold it in half. Okay, so that's where I'm at with these ones. That's all I've done. So I only had, I think I had like $4 more to go before I started recording. So let's do another one. Again, you fold it in half. Fold in half again. Fold in half a third time. And so you have the width that you would need to make a full lei. And then you can just unfold and kind of fold it back on the folds that you've created, but this time make sure it's like accordion style. Back and forth, back and forth. You go back and forth again, so it looks like an accordion. Like this. and press it all together, fold it over in half. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm gonna keep going, just $2 more to go. So like I said, it was already folded. Fold in half. That one last time. They were already folded twice, basically. And then I can unfold and start to work on my accordion. And some people like to use the table to press. I was doing these on the couch, so I wasn't even really working with a table like that. I just do these in my hand. Fold it over in half, drop it, go on to the next one. So this is our last one. Fold it over in half. 3 times to get the appropriate width again. So here we go. Back and forth, back and forth. Accordion style. Now I have all of my dollars folded to almost where we need to be. Okay. So now I will go ahead and work on getting them taped. And before I do that, let me go find the curling ribbon. Okay, I found the curling ribbon. You want to measure it to make sure it's going to be long enough for your lei. So, and it needs to be doubled. So whatever length you need to make your necklace, your lei, you need to make sure you double that. So I'm going to keep it like kind of folded over, doubled while I measure. So that's a pretty good length right there. I probably would make it a little bit longer, or use more ribbon than what I feel is necessary, just to be on the safe side. So I think that's long enough, but I'll probably start with curling ribbon that's even a lot longer than that. So again, keep it doubled. Actually, I only have a little bit of this color left, so I might as well just use it all, is what I'm thinking, instead of even cutting. Okay, so let me see how long that is. So that's like down to my navel almost, which is I think is a great length. And then it's just a little bit left over. So I'm just gonna keep it the length it is, and I'll cut off any excess when I finish. But just make sure it's gonna be long enough to work with to get your entire project done. Again, I'm working with 45 singles. I've seen some people work with 50, 60. So you might want your ribbon to be a little bit longer. It just depends on what your needs are. So let's get back to the tutorial with the actual dollars. Alrighty, so now I fully have all of my supplies. You got your ribbon cut, you got your dollars halfway folded into, it's in accordion style, but then folded over in half. So what you're gonna do now is fold in the fold that you created, press the ends of it down. So you have 2 ends that are like singular pieces of your dollar. Press those together and tape it. So you're gonna tear off just a very small piece of tape, probably even smaller than that is good enough. And in between the folds, where those 2 single pieces are, you're gonna tape them together. Okay, so notice I just put a piece of tape on one of the single parts within that inside fold. Stick it to the other side. Okay, so the fold that I created, it's almost like a little fan. The fold that I created is now taped together. And then you're gonna take the other ends. So you see these singular pieces of the other end of my accordion. You're gonna take those and fold it around and see what it creates. Fold it around and tape those 2 pieces together. Okay. In all actuality, I think I can include another step to make that part even easier. So let me show you on the next one. I'm forgetting the step that I did last time. And this is only my 2nd time making one of these. But the first one came out so well that I was like, let me show the people. See if they can make them one. Okay, so anyway, this is what you're trying to create. This flower petal piece, okay? And notice how when you make this, you're gonna have some little openings. So you have little openings here and here. I don't know if you can really even see it that well, but see, you see how you can see my finger through there? You have holes on here, holes here and here. That's why I had the curling ribbon doubled, because one piece of the ribbon goes in here, the other piece will go in the other opening, and that's how you'll be able to connect your petals. But anyway, back to the folding. So notice that I folded all of these accordions in half. I need to also fold it the other way. You don't have to do this step, but I think it'll make things easier when you're trying to like tape that other side together. So fold it both ways. I believe that's how I did it last time, which made the taping of the petal go a little easier. So again, I'm starting with that inside fold and taping the two singular pieces together. Then I'm opening up my accordion to fold this side back and do the same thing with the other two singular pieces of the fold. This is like origami. It takes some patience as well. All right, so there we have it. So we just keep creating those. Let me do just one more. So again, I've already folded all these dollars in half that way. You can fold it again back the other way to make it easier when you spread your accordion. So it'll spread both ways. So you can even see it starting to happen here. It can spread both ways a little easier. Tape the single pieces to start to create your flower. So this part, tape to this part, and then spread it the other way so that you create your nice little flower. You in there now. You create your nice little flower going that way. You in there, and you start to pick up speed. Just be, like I said, be patient with yourself. They will all look identical according to your folding technique. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of these, and I'll come back and assemble everything. Show you how to put your lei together. Alrighty, I'm back and I'm almost done. This is my last little single dollar bill to fold. It's already folded into my half of a accordion. So I fold those ends and then flip it around. And my little fan. My last little fan is together. Alrighty, so that's that. All of my dollars are exactly how they need to be, and so we can start assembling. So this is where the iron comes into place. So you use the iron to stabilize what you have going on. You wrap the ribbon around the handle of the iron. Oh, and another little pro tip. You might want to tape the end of your curling ribbon. It'll make it easier to thread it through the little holes in your folded dollar bills. So I'm about to do that now. Almost forgot that step. So just a little piece of tape on the end so that you can kind of fold the tip of the ribbon, and you'll be able to thread it through a lot easier. That little piece of tape helps tremendously, trust me. Do the same thing to this end. And of course, this end doesn't want to cooperate. Trusty scissors here. Alrighty, so again, just a little piece of tape so that you can fold over the tip of that ribbon. See how I'm just kind of folding it in half and taping it over? That way, it'll be much, much easier to thread through. Okay. So again, like I said, wrap the ribbon around the handle of the iron and just push your iron like way out so that you can stretch it across the table. And I'm gonna start with the bead. So I have 3 different shades of green. And I like to do them in order. So I'll do a dark bead, $1, a medium shade green, another $1, and then a light shade green, and then I'll repeat the process. So again, starting with the darkest shade, I put both strands of the curling ribbon through that first bead and have it stretched all the way to the handle of the iron. Then I start in with my dollars. And so you want to make sure that they're all the dollars are facing the same way. So I typically like to thread through the front, wherever the folds are, not the back of the single tape part. So I'll slide my ribbon through the front. And you'll see 2 openings. You put 1 piece of thread through each side of the openings. So just like so. Pull it all the way through. Pull it all the way through. So I have the backs of the dollars facing me. So make sure they're all facing that way. Then I'll go with my medium green. Next, medium green bead goes on next. Another $1. And again, I'm pushing it through the front of the $1. And so it'll be situated the same way as the previous one, facing the same direction. So you just keep going like that. So that was dark green, medium green. Now it's time for a light green bead. And another $1. Okay. So you can kind of see how the process is going. I'm gonna keep threading it the same exact way. It's time for a dark green bead. And so I'll pause and then come back and show y'all the finished product. Alrighty, so we're about probably almost halfway done. Yeah, we're almost halfway done. And something I figured out that is somewhat of a time saver is to just go ahead and line up your beads how you want them. So, you know, everybody might not be as, you know, about the order as me, but I really wanted to go dark, medium, light. So I decided to go ahead and line up all my beads, and I would need 45 beads again because I'm using $45 here. Well, I would need 46 beads. But I went on and lined them up in order of the color how I want them to show up in my lei, so that I don't have to keep looking back at the lei to see what the last previous color was that I used. It's just making things go a little faster, having them already lined up. So I'll just keep threading through my flowers, my dollar flowers. I ended on a light. The next one in line was a dark green bead. I'm just gonna keep it going. Okay, so next time I come back, I should be done. I just wanted to give y'all that little tidbit because it's helping out over here. Alrighty, so I'm finished with my money lei. I have it all stretched out. Again, it's still attached to the iron. So I'm just gonna close the end. Just do a little closure at the end here. And then I'll take the scissors and cut the end that is attached to the iron. Bring this closer so y'all can see. So yeah, so this end is attached to the iron still. I'm just gonna cut it behind the handle. I'll just go ahead and tie a little knot here as well. not totally necessary because I'm gonna tie it together at the other end, but yeah, I'm pretty much done. So tie the two ends together. So complete your necklace. Tie them together. So necklace complete, and I just cut the extra ribbon here and here. Done and done. Alright, so we have a nice lei. Let me show you what it looks like. Try it on. Ooh, there you go. Ta-da! So I hope she likes it. You know what? I should have done 41. She's turning 41 on Friday, the 23rd. But I did $45, so I don't know. I'll just tell her I added an extra few for good measure. All right, toodaloo. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Try it yourself. Let me know how it goes in the comments.